Trigger warning on this video. There's a $25,000 reward to catch an animal abuser in Richmond, Virginia. What I'm going to do is roll some footage in here and tell you guys the story as I understand what happened. On February 10th, 2019, an unidentified suspect who has not yet been apprehended brought a pit bull into a public park, into Abner Clay Park in Jackson Ward, Richmond, Virginia. The suspect tied this pit bull to a fence post, poured expedient on the pit bull or gasoline, and then lit the pit bull on fire and fled the scene. When I saw it, the pictures of it, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm done crying now. We got to talk about this. We need to bring this to the attention of a larger community, the YouTube community, the vegan community, the Richmond community in general. It's just got to get to a bigger audience of people who can understand what happened and help catch this guy, because there is somebody who is going to recognize that dog, and they know who did this. They know where that dog came from. It wasn't just some guy with one dog in his apartment, didn't have any friends, and never saw this dog. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to push this out there and get somebody to identify who did this, because they're going to catch him. They're going to catch the person who did this. The dog died. The dog died from being burned all over its body. The prognosis was not good, and they couldn't save it. They couldn't save the dog's life. So there's a couple things that are going on here that we need to talk about. One is that they just passed a new law in Virginia that they're calling Tommie's Law. So they named the pit bull Tommie after this vicious animal abuse, this arson attack on this pit bull. They named the dog Tommie at Richmond Animal Care and Control when they were caring for it before it died. Turns out that there was a law already in the legislature that had to do with an attack, a machete attack on a dog from like 3 years ago. And after this incident, just earlier this month, the law got passed. And so prior to this, it was a misdemeanor if the dog or cat didn't die. So the result, the crime for the penalty for the crime, the charge, was only a misdemeanor if the dog or cat didn't die. Well, they've changed that now. This type of animal abuse is a felony in the state of Virginia, as I think you will agree that it should be. Who does this? Who does this and thinks that they're going to get away with it? And that's why we need to catch him. That's why somebody needs to identify this dog and this person. And this is going to bring us into the second part of what we need to talk about here, because this is not cool, man. I live in Richmond, Virginia. Like, I'm wondering, should I go down to Jackson Ward and start asking people questions if they saw anything? Maybe they'll talk to me because I'm not as threatening as somebody in a blue uniform. This is what the website says. It says, what does he look like? That's the question. Who was it? What does he look like? The suspect is described as a man wearing multiple layers of pants and was last seen heading west towards Belvedere at 7:30 on Sunday. What does that mean? That's the description? A man wearing multiple layers of pants. Is that what we've come to as a society now? Where somebody saw something, they saw a man, what did he look like? Oh, he had multiple layers of pants on. What did he look like? He had multiple layers of pants on. Can we get a real description of who this person was and what he looked like? We're too worried about offending somebody if it was a white man or a black man. We're too worried about offending somebody that we're not even going to put a description on him other than to say he had multiple layers of pants on. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Huh? That's not a description. That's not a description. But they're still going to catch this person. There's a $25,000 reward for the apprehension and subsequent conviction of this person for this arson attack on this pit bull. And it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I'd like to see some people from the vegan community who have a larger platform take notice of this vicious animal attack and this unapprehended suspect and put this out there to a bigger community, that would be great. They're making it a felony to abuse animals in the state of Virginia now. But for me, you can make your own choices in life. For me, I'm not paying somebody else to kill an animal to put it on my plate for food because I like the way it tastes. Justice for Tommie the Pitbull. Help catch this person. What do y'all think I should do living in this city? Should I go down there and start asking questions? Stick my nose in somebody else's business where it doesn't belong? Or just let the investigation take place and just hope that they catch a suspect described as a man wearing multiple layers of pants who burned a pit bull to death in a public park just after daylight. R.I.P. Tommie the Pitbull. Take y'all with me up here. This is what time it is.
Y'all know what time it is. Pour out a little liquor. Tip that glass over. I don't care if it's night train or champagne.